Good evening. This is Paul Lennon again, talking about the Legionaries of Christ, the Regnum Christi, and the Regnum Christi Federation. And today I would like to talk about the recruiting and motivating members to participate as the second great charism of the founder, Fr.Maciel. So we cannot discount Fr.Maciel's real charisms, real human gifts, which helped him to create this big organization called now recently Regnum Christi Federation, which you may have known before as Legionaries of Christ or Regnum Christi Movement. Now we're talking about um, Regnum Christi Federation. It's the same thing, it just has a different appearance. So this second charism or gift of Fr.Maciel, again, a human gift, not a spiritual gift, according to my opinion, was his ability to recruit, to win over, and then to motivate his followers to build his movement and to do his bidding. So the question I would like to plant today also and to present to you today is also, does the present Regnum Christi Federation inherit these two gifts of Fr.Maciel? And I put it to you that it does. It does inherit the founder's charisms, but not not as the Vatican authorities uh, have thought that this was some kind of a spiritual gift that he had from the Holy Spirit. I am positing that these are human gifts which he used to build up this empire called Regnum Christi Federation, and along the way to deceive the Roman Catholic authorities. And this is strong words, and I would need to make this thesis more formally on another occasion. But I wanted to talk about that. So Maciel was wonderful at recruiting the members, winning over the followers, and he won us over. He won the first Irish followers over through a person he had recruited personally, who is Father James Quandro Farias from Monterrey, Mexico. And Father James tells his story also of how he was recruited by Fr.Maciel. So Fr.Maciel was able to inspire these young men to follow him and to join him in this crusade of being a bulwark of the Catholic Church in the late 20th century against all its enemies. Don't forget that cults always have to have enemies. And the bigger the enemy and the more threatening the enemy, the stronger the enemy, the crusader, in this case, Legion of Christ, Regnum Christi will be, and it will also encourage followers to step into the breach and join in this great, crusade. Now, some of the first Irish fundraisers who are probably lost to history because you fall by the way. These great movements have people, we don't count those who fall by the way. We just keep steaming ahead. One I would like to mention was a good friend of mine, even though we weren't much friends while in the Legion, but who died, was it earlier this year? Sorry if I'm being imprecise. And his name is Noel Slater. He's from the city of Limerick, and he joined the same day as I did, on the July the 1st, 1961, as far as I recall. So Noel was not one of those first 8 guys that went to Salamanca. He stayed in Ireland and he began his novitiate, I would say, later in 61 or in 1962. in Dublin. Noel was a very bright and, in his own way, charismatic person, a very pleasant guy, a very optimistic kind of guy. And Maciel then used Noel to continue his work of fundraising. Remember, we talked a lot about Maciel as the original fundraiser, and then he encouraged, this is his gift, that he motivated his following batches of fundraisers. And probably to this very day, his his offspring, Regnum Christi Federation, is doing the same thing. It's looking at these kind of charismatic guys who can raise funds for the Legion of Christ. One who I've already mentioned would not strike you as being charismatic, but tremendously efficient, and that is another Irish-born man, Father Anthony Bannon, who is still in the mix there of prominent legionaries. So that was one, and Noel Slater worked very strenuously in Mexico City and brought in thousands, hundreds of thousands of dollars, uh, and gave them personally to Father Maciel, who was Nuestro Padre, our founder, our leader. And Noel then, um, what would you say? Noel then became he was left out on his own. He was probably outside his community, outside his spiritual support because of that. And later on, he left the Legion and got married and had children. Um, but I would venture to say that Noel was very much neglected by the Legion after he left. He did not receive any uh, effective support from them with his personal problems and with his other problems, and then with his mental illnesses, etc., and physical illnesses, because he had a stroke towards the end of his life, and I don't believe the Legion did any real outreach to Noel Slater. Very sad. Now, the other thing that Maciel did, and we're on the same track, is that Maciel also, when he started his new venture of the Irish Institute in Mexico City, uh, he he called it the Irish Institute, which there again, this is tremendously clever. In Mexico, the Irish are well liked, even though we're so far away. There's not a lot of contacts with the country historically, except that the part of the Patricios Irish Brigade broke away from the American Army when they invaded Mexico, and the Irish guys fought on beside the Mexicans, and they're beloved by the Mexicans because of this. The Battalion of Saint Patrick, El Batallón de San Patricio, they're honored in Mexico to this very day, and they have a small monument in Mexico City, Plaza San Angel, I think. Forgive me. Um, So again, the staff of the Irish Institute were sent by, these were very young and very raw. I hope I'm not saying offending anybody, with very young recruits to the Legion, and they had barely started their training in the seminary for the priesthood, and Maciel just made use of them to begin the Irish Institute. The Irish Institute was headed by a Spanish priest, a beloved friend of ours, Father Amenaber, who did not speak hardly any English. So Maciel then sent the support group over there, such as Jack Keogh, such as John Walsh, such as David Hennessy, etc., etc. So I'm talking here about his gift for recruiting these guys and then seeing where they would sit into his plans, into his project. So this is one of Maciel's the second charism or gift that I attribute to Father Maciel. And my question then for you is, do you think that um, his creation, Regnum Christi Federation, uh, do you think that it carries on his legacy, that it has inherited Father Maciel's legacy? And in this case, we have 2 points to repeat: his great fundraising acumen, ability, and also his capacity to recruit others, to win them over to the cause, and then to make them um, active members uh, in building his empire, uh, his kingdom, which it was called originally, right? Not the thy kingdom come, but my kingdom come. And this is what we have. Thank you.